Hello, readers and writers. I am Anthony L. Manna, and I'm also known as Professor Grandpa Tonio, the book guy and the writing guy. Welcome to my folklore treasury, where very old stories called folktales and fairy tales never grow old because they are told and remembered and told and read over and over again through the years. Today, I'm excited to read a story with you from a collection of these stories I wrote and reimagined with my friend Soula Mitakidou. The book is called, right here, the book is called Folktales from Greece, a Treasury of Delights. The story I'm reading to you today is called The 7 Ravens. Are you ready to hear a story about an angry king who casts a spell on his 7 sons, 7 princes? In an extraordinary moment of rage, who will rescue them and bring them back to the palace as princes rather than ravens? Well, it's their sister, a fragile, fragile princess who sets off on a courageous quest to the end of the world to try to save her brothers. Will sun, moon, and stars help her free her brothers from the king's spell? Well, come listen to the story and find out. And here we go. The 7 Ravens, from Folktales from Greece, a Treasury of Delights, by Anthony L. Manna and Soula Mitakidou. The 7 Ravens. There once was a king who had 7 sons, but no daughter. Every day he prayed to God to send him a daughter who would comfort him in his old age. At last, his prayers were heard, and the queen gave birth to a girl. Oh, but she was so fragile. The king and queen searched for ways to make the girl strong, but they could not find a remedy. One day, a midwife from a nearby village came to the queen and told her that the only way to save the girl was to have her drink water. That's right, to drink water from a healing spring in the mountains. When the king heard this, he ordered his sons to go and fetch this miracle water for their sister. Well, the 7 princes did as their father had told them, but on their way back to the palace, they unfortunately broke the jug and did not return for fear of their father's wrath. Meanwhile, the father and the mother waited and waited for them, but nothing. With each passing minute, the father became more and more angry until, in the end, seized by his rage, he cursed his sons. "Wherever you are, may you turn into black ravens," he cried out. With their father's curse still lingering, the princes were transformed into 7 black ravens that flew over the palace. How could he have cursed his own children? And so the king and queen were left only with their daughter. Oh yes, their daughter, a frail princess For a time, the princess knew nothing of her brothers. Then one day she overheard a neighbor gossiping. The princess lives and thrives, but what about that? Well, I mean, why? She's the one who brought the curse down on her brothers, didn't she? Well, you can imagine, on hearing this, the princess went directly to her mother. Do I have brothers that were lost? She asked. When the mother saw that there was no use hiding the truth, she told her daughter the whole story, why her brothers were changed, cursed into ravens. How could the princess thrive and prosper when her brothers lived in misery? Not long afterwards, she disappeared, taking only a small ring from her mother with her. A small ring. She walked on and on until she reached the end of the world. There she found the sun, but she could not stay at the sun's palace because it was too hot. She left the sun and walked on and on until she came to the moon. But the moon was not at his place, so she sat and waited for him. I smell human here, the moon said the minute he returned. There was nothing she could do but leave there as well, as frightened as she was. She left the moon and walked on and on until she came to the stars. The stars, they actually welcomed her and asked her what she was there for. I must find my brothers. They were lost because of me, she told the stars. The morning star took pity on the princess. Take this, the morning star said, giving her the foot of a bat, and watch it like your own eyes. It will open the door to the castle where your brothers are staying. The princess took the foot, wrapped it in her handkerchief, and left. She walked on and on. She took hills, roads, passageways, and she came to the castle, and she used the foot of the bat to open the door. At once it opened. A very short man appeared in front of her. What do you want, my girl? He asked her. I've come for my brothers, the 7 ravens, she replied. They are not here, but you can wait for them, the short man told her and left. But soon he returned and laid the table with 7 small plates of food and 7 small glasses of wine. The princess was so hungry. She ate 1 bite from each place and drank 1 sip of wine from each glass. Inside one of the glasses, she put her mother's ring. Then she hid. The 7 ravens returned at noon and sat down to eat. When the oldest one tried his food, he said, Someone has been eating from my plate." "Me too," the second raven said. "Yeah, me too, me too. Yeah, me too. Me too," the rest of them said together. At that very moment, the youngest raven found the ring in his glass. "Our sister is here," he cried, recognizing their mother's ring. "If she is here, we are saved," the youngest brother said. "Remember what the wise woman told us. Our sister's love is the only thing that can save us from the old curse, our father's curse." At that, the princess came out of her hiding place and rushed to their brothers. As she embraced them one by one, of course, each returned into a handsome young man. As soon as dawn awakened them, the brothers and the sisters, the next day, they traveled with each other. They traveled over roads and through valleys until they reached the mountain where the healing waters flowed from a blessed spring. At once their frail sister cupped the water in her hands. The minute she drank it, her weak body stood tall, her face gleamed with happiness, and she cried out her feeling of new-found strength. As the day grew brighter, brothers and sister took to roads and through valleys and byways until they came to the palace. Rejoice, rejoice. No words can ever describe the family's joy at being together again. And so, readers and writers, I end The Seven Ravens, and I hope you'll enjoy listening to the story, and I hope that I will meet up with you again soon. Good day.